Hey everybody, this is LMP Games, and we are back for, as you can see, to break down the new Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer. Just dropped September 14th, 2023. So this one's going to be interesting, because usually when I watch these, right, and we do these breakdowns, I've seen the trailer a couple different times, usually somewhere between 3 to 5 times. I only had a chance to watch this once before being able to make the video here, so we're going to go through, take it slow, take each section at a time. I'm not going to do like it with the other one where it was like the last one where we watched through it a bunch of different times. But we're just going to we're going to take some time to get through this and look at everything and see what all's here, because there's so much. Trying to remember what I think I saw. We'll see if that's the factual. So it looks like there was definitely some stuff with Zack. I remember that very clearly. We saw Cait Sith was in here. I think we saw gameplay from Cait Sith. We saw some other team-up attacks. I think there's some other character team attacks like Cait Sith and Aerith. I think there saw a team-up attack with them. There was some really crazy looking stuff. I think like Cloud on a Segway? I think that's something related to the Golden Saucer, which we saw some stuff for too. I think we got a confirmation that the game at least goes to the Northern Crater. I think we'll talk about that when we get to that part. I think that's what that was. And then like everything else is kind of like a blur, because after a certain part it's like, ugh. It's like that that hot dog meme. The girl getting hit in the face with all the hot dog is that's like FF7 fans of this trailer. There's just too much in it. So let's go ahead and watch this and see what we can find here. We'll be doing a lot of stopping. Preface, warning ahead. Lots of pausing. Let me see if I can fix something really fast. Okay, maybe it's a capture. I don't know. Their capture, but maybe there was some weird thing going on with my GPU, as the video seems really kind of hitchy at places. But okay, let's try this again. So this is like the aftermath at the beginning, I think. And then here's the first. You're already 8 seconds in. We gotta stop. Let's go back a second here. You have Aerith's mother, Emilar, in the background there. Cloud is Zack. This is confirming that there are at least 2 timelines, because Cloud is with Zack here. Cloud cannot be here if he's out doing whatever else to the other people. Now, I mean, you could make the argument. Let's just play this out maybe for the sake of making the argument. What if there are 2 Clouds? Cloud from the past, Cloud from the future in the same timeline. So they could do that. But what would happen is that would be really crappy writing, right? So part of the reason why the first game is so good is because of how they handle like the thing with Sephiroth. Sephiroth, this is kind of spoiler territory, by the way, if you haven't played the original game, and this is your first, like, if the Remake series is your first exposure to Final Fantasy VII, this will be spoilery for the rest of what's to come. Just give you a warning if you want to stop watching or pause or whatever. You'll be safe to continue watching once you see the trailer continue. Okay, assuming anybody that wants to mute or stop has done so. So, in the original game, Sephiroth doesn't exist, really. Not really. Sephiroth's body is at the Northern Crater. So anytime you see Sephiroth in the original game, it's actually Jenova or just Cloud, having a psychic break, essentially. And anytime that any of the other characters can see Sephiroth, it's definitely Jenova that they're seeing. And like there's this so in the story of the game, Hojo suspects that there's this thing called the reunion theory, which is that pieces of Jenova will be drawn to other pieces of Jenova if you separate them. And so the Jenova's head is missing. They don't, at least maybe not missing, but they don't have her head, its head, whatever it is, its head. They have the body and Shooter Tower. They used to have the head, and then Sephiroth removed it when he went crazy in Nibelheim. Sensibly, the idea is that when he fell into the live stream, he still had the head. So I don't know if that means that the head's encased in materia in the Northern Crater as well with Sephiroth. If Sephiroth has it, if it merged with Sephiroth, if it just merged into the live stream or something. But the head's somewhere. I think Hojo thinks that somehow Sephiroth has the head either with him physically, it's near him, or he absorbed it or something like that. And by having the body would naturally want to try and find the head, so it would go to where the head was. Later on, though, when you start actually getting more of the deeper into the story, the question doesn't so much become as if Jenova was doing the things Jenova was doing because Jenova was instinctively doing that. It's more of, was Sephiroth influencing Jenova to do it? And that's kind of like I don't think that question's ever really fully answered. I think the community consensus on that is that Sephiroth was influencing Jenova to go to the Northern Crater. I don't think it's ever really explicitly ever been stated in any kind of war. So where I'm going with this is that the way that they wrote the story in Remake is such that the inclusion of Sephiroth doesn't break anything. It doesn't it does not conflict with the original story whatsoever, period. The only thing that's a little bit different is that Sephiroth doesn't physically appear until either the end of Shinra Tower or maybe after they when they get to Junon on the ship, because for sure they all see Sephiroth on the ship, on the ferry going over to Costa del Sol. So the inclusion of the Sephiroth stuff earlier on, and then like the idea that Sephiroth is actually a different Sephiroth from the Sephiroth from the original game. That Sephiroth is the psychic mental energy from of Sephiroth that's been absorbed into the live stream at the end, that was manifested and then sent back to the live stream at the end of Advent Children. It's that Sephiroth. So he has much more influence over things. They approached the story in a way that they didn't break the timeline with like how they included new things into it. So for them to then go and say, okay, we're gonna have two clouds in the same timeline, and that's fine. I don't think they're that bad at writing. That would be horrible writing, because one, any kind of form of time travel or alternate timelines or anything like that, if your writing is good and you actually understand the stuff, you realize pretty quick that can't happen, because that would create a paradox. You can't have two versions of yourself in the same time-space continuum, because it causes a paradox which breaks reality. So that's why I think this is confirmation of at least Zack's timeline, because if Zack and Cloud were in Remake's timeline, not in a separate timeline, they'd be breaking reality, because one, Zack's body is somewhere in Remake's timeline. So, Zack existed prior to this moment, and then there'll be a second Cloud. So I don't think that would be what they would do, because they're not shitty writers. So I think this is confirmation that we have a Zack timeline. This is also confirmation of this happens after that scene at the end of Remake, not the DLC, not the Yuffie DLC, but the part before the original game, where Zack lives, picks up Cloud, and starts going toward Midgar. So he's in Midgar now, because we got Emilar back there. It's after, and his timeline's after the events that led up to the end of 7 Remake happen. because all this damage is going on. So what I think, but see, here's the question. Timing is the question, right? So what would this mean? Well, let's think about this. What would this mean for Zack's timeline in terms of how events progressed, right? Because in the original timeline, and the original remake timeline, and original timeline, there's like, I think a 2 or 3 month period where Cloud is in Midgar, out of his mind with makeup poisoning, before he kind of comes to and Tifa's able to get him to join Avalanche. Tifa knows he's there during that time. There's a flashback in the original game about that. So there's a specific timeline of events that happens. So we have Zack here with Cloud. Amara's back there. Amara knows Zack. Zack hasn't, well, you know, since Aerith isn't here nowhere, we have to assume that, because you would think Aerith would be here somewhere if Zack was here, potentially. That's more of an assumption on my part, that she isn't here because the group has been, like, the opening of the other trailer, I think, is Zack's timeline, and in that timeline, somehow they get fracked over by Sephiroth. Maybe they aren't able to defeat the Harbinger, and the Harbinger maybe not kills them, but maybe like knocks them out or something. I really don't know as far as what that whole scene represented. It was the actual death, or what they were playing it up like a lot, like it was that they had died. But, you know, any more than just saying that we know they're unconscious, at least, is speculative. So we know this is at least there. Elmira's here. So where is this? I think this is in Sector 5. This seems similar to the structures and the general kind of look of Sector 5 in the background here. Like this area here might be that path that leads back to Aerith's house, potentially. We got Zack here, we got Cloud here, we have Elmira here. If we assume this happens after the scene we saw last time because of all the damage we see, and assuming that damage is in this timeline, then that means that the events are compressed, meaning that unless the time it takes for Zack and Cloud to get from where they were to Midgar is, you know, that's an interesting theory, right? So if Zack is hauling Cloud's ass across the desert, how far away is that spot from Midgar? Trying to think about like what they showed in the game, the end of the remake, in terms of like the distance, because they show the group on that spot. Well, actually, they don't show them on that spot, do they? Or do they? Do they show them on the spot where? No, I don't think they do. They just show them crossing. So the place where Zack was at could have been a sizable distance away. Like in terms of how you could, you know, the size of Midgar from where Zack's perspective back there was, you know, I would say at least 10 to 30 miles, maybe more. Because you got to remember, Midgar is this massive, ginormous megacity. Even at a really long distance, it's going to look pretty big. That said, though, would Zack take 3 to 4 months to cover that distance, lugging Cloud's ass around? Maybe he has to try and hide from things, you know, scout soldier troops and stuff like that, scouting parties. But then he's just walking around Midgar. So there are questions about the timeline in Zack's timeline and how that's changed. Maybe the whispers exploding caused some sort of effect or something. But I think this... So now this is speculative on my part. I think this also confirms that the original party is dead. I think that in Zack's timeline, it's going to be Zack, Cloud, maybe Aerith, maybe Tifa. More likely, it might be some of the Turks that are kind of disenchanted with Shinra. Like maybe Cisne. Or potentially... I wouldn't. The Sang wouldn't. I don't think Sang would be. Maybe Sister. And maybe some new characters we don't know about. Like we saw Kyrie a little bit earlier. I think that was her name. Or no, that was later on in the trailer that I remember seeing her. So I don't really know for sure, but that the theory I put forward on that in the last trailer breakdown is getting a bit more reinforcement here. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue. We sat on this for long enough. Okay, the world will be saved, but will you? Interesting phrasing there. So this is... Yeah, this is... I think this is Sector 5. Alright, so we got Junon here. So Sister Race, this is... I think they're... Here's the question. They never fired the Sister Ray in the original game. The only time they do is when Jade Weapon is attacking Junon. So the question is, do they add a new scene where they fire off the gun during Rufus's parade ceremony? Or is this showing, like, what I think it is, which is... Well, if this is showing the attack of Jade Weapon, then this game goes beyond the crater. Because Jade Weapon attack happens during the period right after the crater, when you're in control of Tifa and Barret, and when they get taken to here by Rufus and the others. Now, okay, this is during the parade, because you can see there's the confetti and stuff. This is during the parade ceremony. Rufus looks a little bit different here. I think it's the skin's a bit more shiny. I think it's just updated graphics, but yeah, they changed the facial structure a little bit too, I think. Somehow. It could just be the CG version, though. It could be the CG version of Rufus. Because the CG models don't look quite like the in-game models. This is definitely Junon during the parade ceremony, though. And there we go. So confirmation that the parade still happens. I don't know if we join it and have the minigame, but we'll see. I'm going to assume we do, because they really haven't removed anything from the game yet. They've only added to it. Also, look at the scale of Junon here. Yeah, Junon's supposed to be, I think, the second biggest city in all of the world, all of Gaia, after Midgar. So it's supposed to be this massive, structure of buildings and such, which it looks like. So good, like the scale. Let's see, what do we got here? So we got Cloud and Red 13. This is obviously, you know what? This might be Gongaga. This is an exploded reactor, right? This could be Gongaga. If this is Gongaga, then they've increased the scale of Gongaga by a lot. Gongaga before, like the reactor, was just this one little map of this tiny little reactor in it. It never felt right? It never felt like that was the proper scale for that, but obviously the scenes that happen there are really short and small, and I guess it wouldn't have justified using the disk space and time to make it bigger than that. But this seems like it's been made more, scaled up to the proper size it would be. But I think this is Gongaga. That's what I think this is. Otherwise, we got some new location we haven't been to yet, where there's another destroyed reactor. I mean, there are a couple of them, right? Like, there's Medeoheim that never shows up in the original game. That's a location from Final Fantasy VII Advent, or before Crisis Core. It's from Crisis Core. That's in the north. That's not down here. The only place I know that there's a destroyed reactor down towards the southern part of the world is Gongaga, which is what I think this is. I think this is the town outside of Junon. Yeah, because see, you can see this building back here. It's got like that fish-looking sign. I wonder if this means that Mr. Dolphin's going to make an appearance. Maybe we'll have the CPR minigame. Oh god, Cosmo Canyon. God, this looks good. God, look at the scale of this thing. I mean, Cosmo Canyon was not small, but I mean, it also was not this big. Like, it looks like an actual, you know, canyon now, as opposed to just you're kind of in a sort of steppe environment. Like in the original game, Cosmo Canyon feels like it's like maybe to like the top of Buggigan's places, maybe feels like it's, you know, 20, 30 feet. This looks more like, you know, 100, 120, 130 feet or more in the air. No, the scale upgrade on things looks really good. What the hell? We got a pirate ship or something in the background there. So this is Typhon and Aerith. Cloud and Barret. Wait, the quality seems like it went down. God damn it, YouTube. I set you on 180, and you went back down to auto. Let's go back. There's still some bitrate issues, though. Where's this? This might be around the Cosmo Canyon area. Let's go back a second and see if we can figure out where these other locations are at. Zoom ahead here. So where is this? This might be near Costa del Sol. Because you got some you got palm trees, you got the ocean in the background. This is Costa del Sol somewhere. In that area. This could be in the Cosmo Canyon area. It could also be Corel, the Corel mountain area. I think this is somewhere near the Corel mountains because you got this structure here that's going up. It could be like a tower for train tracks or something. But it's either one of those two places, I think. That's the only mountainous region in that area of the game that I can think of at the moment that this could be at. The color palettes don't look right for Nibelheim. Nibelheim's area, you know, mountains are more gray and greenish. This is more like deserty, which would be down near the Golden Saucer. Let me go back a second here. What is this enemy too? I think it's a cockatrice they're fighting. By the tail there. But yeah, so here we go. That's a desert. Yeah, you can see the cactus back there. This is definitely somewhere around Corel, Cosmo Canyon, or somewhere near Golden Saucer. In terms of around those mountains somewhere. Okay, back story cut, backflash, whatever. Yeah, cutscene behind. A flashback cutscene. And here's Cait Sith, character that a lot of people hate. It actually looks really good in terms of like the actual character model itself. Got that that accent that he's known to have from the voice acting in whatever the hell that game was. Where is this now? You got this building up on top of that hill. Is that ocean or... what is this over? Is it ocean or... what is going on here? Well, look at this Cait Sith gameplay here in a second, because it looks like they changed it. I missed that entirely. That was the buggy. Let's see. I'm trying to play. It looks, the color palette looks more like this is near Nibelheim. It's more granite than like sandstone. But where would this be near water though? The only place I can think of the water near this location is Lucretius Cave. In that general area, but I don't think that this is that. It could be though. And let's look at this Cait Sith gameplay. So they get rid of the megaphone. It seems he's a physical character now. In the original game, Cait Sith had a megaphone that he kind of shouted into. There's the buggy. This was like, what the hell am I looking at? This is a black chocobo climbing up the side of the mountain. So I think this confirms we have chocobo types, which means possibly chocobo breeding. And then also the fact that you can traverse terrain with different types of chocobos, and just the fact that you're climbing up a mountain's wild. I mean, practically though, this is how it would work. You see a chocobo climbing up a mountain, they're just not running up the side of the thing, they're like sticking their claws in and climbing up the side of the mountain. This is what it would look like, but it just looks so goddamn weird to see a chicken climbing up the side of the mountain. And we got a green chocobo here. I wonder if they... Wait, this is a teal chocobo, right? This isn't green, technically. It's not blue either. So, here's how the chocobo types work, right? In this game. I'll have to put a spoiler tag at the beginning or something, or mention there's spoilers in this. Because at this point, you're getting a bunch of spoilers for the full game here at this point. So, regular chocobos. Basic bitch-ass chocobos. You run on the ground, eat greens, work. And that's all they really do. Dance. Blue chocobos. Go over water. And do the aforementioned things. Green chocobos. Can climb mountains. And the normal chocobo stuff. Black chocobos can climb over mountains, go over rivers and shallow water, and then all the usual chocobo stuff. Golden chocobos can go anywhere, and that's the breakdown of chocobo types in the original game. This doesn't look green to me. This looks teal. So I wonder if they're adding new chocobo types that do different things, because this looks like this chocobo's flying. Chocobos don't fly. So if this is a new type of chocobo that can fly, then we have additional ways we can traverse through the world. And that's wild. Now this thing here is like, what the hell's going on? I think this is Costa del Sol. Cloud has on a weird outfit though, look at this. We're on a Segway. Got the Buster Sword. I think this is Costa del Sol, but does this oh crap, excuse me. Does this mean that we have fashions? What would it be? Fashion fantasy? Yeah, fashion fantasy. Does that mean that we have unlockable outfits for characters in this game? Because that ain't Cloud's normal stuff. That's not even what it looks like when he's on the ferry coming over. This is like some additional costume thing. You also, it could potentially be some sort of minigame from Golden Saucer, maybe. But I think this is Costa del Sol. Because you got the ocean out there, you got the architecture, it's kind of like Costa del Sol. You got people over here in like luau outfits selling like beach gear. Life rings, surfboards. So we got our Sephiroth clones going into Nibelheim, it looks like, potentially. This is interesting. This is interesting. This is very interesting. So, in the original game, as far as I know, outside of some hidden cutscenes, there is no mention at all that these things could potentially be soldiers. No mention at all. You don't even get that concept of cellular degradation in soldiers until Crisis Core. That's a Crisis Core topic, Crisis Core story point. That doesn't even get mentioned in the original game, I don't believe. So, and this guy also looks like the Doctor from Mideel, potentially. Maybe. The only place I know with a hospital like room like this is the clinic in Mideel. No other location has this kind of set in it in the original game, unless they added this to some other place too. But this indicates that we might be going to Mideel for something before we go there for the other reasons later on. This could, well, yeah, it wouldn't be interesting. Well, let's see. Let's think about this. So the clones only go north. We never see them going south. Unless there's even more clones than we think there are, because in the original game there's like 20 something. No, not even 20. I think the number goes up to like 20, but I don't think I actually see 20. In Remake, I think the one they called Marco was like number 46. So maybe we have way more clones out and around the world in this game than we do in the original, and there's clones down in Mideel. Now the question is, why are we in Mideel though? In the original game, you never go to Mideel until after the crater. At least in the story. I think you might be able to go there by we're using the tiny Bronco, because you don't get access to the airship till after the crater either. But I think you can get there by tiny Bronco, potentially. So we may have some additional story beats that we're going to have happen that didn't happen in the original game. And then here's Sephiroth showing up in Cloud's mind. I don't think it's really Sephiroth here. Yeah, and then Cloud just goes, Sephiroth, get my sword out, slash some people. The friggin' Midgar Zolom, look at this thing. This thing looks insane. It looks like an actual threat now. It's not just some giant, lake worm. It's like an actual basilisk kind of looking thing. That's gonna be the thumbnail right there. this thing. Thumbnail for the video right here. Because damn. Oh, what is Groundswell? No, what's that? There is a boss that you fight in Junon. I think it's called Groundswell. I think this is that. Okay, here we got Yuffie and Barret team-up attack here, so some different team-up attacks. Let's see if we can find anything new on the UI. So I don't think we see anything new. We do see Yuffie's element thing there. We saw the single pip on the side. We get the pips underneath. Do we see... Is there any confirmation? Let me see. Are there any pips before they do this? So I'm still trying to figure out what the team-up attacks cost. No, they cut to it while the actual animation is starting, so we don't see if those pips are for the team-up attacks. I still have to assume those pips underneath the ATB bar are for the team-up attacks. That's what just makes sense. And I think the bar to the right of the limit gauge is a limit gauge. I think it's a limit gauge store. So I think you store a limit gauge when it gets full, and then you maybe have that to access more powerful limit breaks. Like in the first game, how it worked was you set your limit break you wanted to use, right? So I'm wondering if in this game, you get an additional charge to be able to access the more powerful limit breaks or something. Or if there's like another tier of limit break that's different from the normal ones now, that that bar is used for. Because we haven't seen it depleted yet. I don't think in any screenshots where it's been filled, or any scenes where it's been filled and they've been doing things. So it has to be something related to limits because it's right near the limit gauge bar. Like, it doesn't make sense for that to be anything else but related to limits somehow. Just because of how they placed it. And this is kind of crazy. So obviously what's happening here is an elemental attack, right? So Yuffie's casting a fire sigil, I think, and Barret's shooting bullets through, and now that he's essentially using fire sword. In this case, it's fire bullets, kind of thing. So that's kind of cool. That you can add additional elements to your attacks this way. And then he throws Yuffie. Then we got a Mog team-up attack here. So Mog eats these balls and then shoots out a laser beam. In full-on meme format. Also, Cait Sith has this icon next to his health down there. So I wonder what that's for. Maybe the Mog has specific commands it can do. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at this. This is interesting. Look at this. The bar next to limit gauge isn't there now on any of these characters. I think that means that it's something that you unlock as you're going through the game. So it's not. It's like it's a new mechanic. It's not something that they've kind of extrapolated on. Some sort of new mechanic that you're going to get access to later on. I'm going to see if I'm trying to catch this damn bars, these pips at the bottom getting used. No, they always cut to just after you use the thing and the stuff gets used. Always. Yeah, so he eats these balls, shoots out the laser, does kind of crazy damage. This is wild. This isn't a flashback. You have team-up attacks with Sephiroth, with Cloud, during the flashback. I think this is a scripted thing that happens, because you don't have the pips underneath the health down here. But this is wild. That was Materia Keeper. What the shit? I didn't even know what that enemy was. That's Materia Keeper. Fracking Alexander. The best Alexander's ever looked in any Final Fantasy game. Yeah, that's Materia Keeper, or some form of it. So this is definitely in the caves. Nibelheim Mountain Caves. Because that's where Materia Keeper is at. So I wonder if you're going to fight Materia Keeper twice. Or like a more pissed off version of it when you go back through the second time. That'd be kind of cool to like have the which also means that the flashback is way longer. Because this doesn't happen in the original game. You don't have a trip through the cave system in Mount Nibel at all in the original game. Outside of like I guess there's a couple scenes, but you don't have any like combat at all. I don't remember there being any combat anyway. Now there is, so that's interesting. That means we have an extended flashback scene, it seems. So that's cool. This crazy ass move that they're doing. Then freaking Alexander, man. Look at this thing. Because Alexander's here, that means we at least get the Great Glacier. The Great Glacier is when you get this materia. Drops out of the dragon boss there. I think. Or you get it just before that. Who was this? Who was that? Was that Typhon? They really tried to hide that pretty well in the effects. To try and hide who that is. Oh yeah, and you can see the summon materia is now on the commands menu down here. So I wonder if that means that we can equip a summon materia to use at any time. I wonder. Because there is no gauge either. There's no summon materia gauge for like a timer. So I wonder if that's gone now, and we can just use it once for battle or something like that. Yeah, I think this is Typhon. Oh no, yeah, this is definitely Typhon. You can tell here. Bull. What was the middle head? I forget what the middle head is, and like a line on the bottom. This is definitely Typhon. It's a summon in the game. Typhon. You get Typhon. Don't you get Typhon during the kind of dream scene after Temple of the, or before Temple of the Ancients? Or is it when you're in the Forgotten Forest? It's either in the Forgotten Forest or in the dream scene when you're in the Forgotten Forest when you're seeing Aerith leave. So, yeah, that would make sense though, given where the game seems to be going in terms of length. So that's Typhon. That's definitely Typhon. Odin coming up here. What was that? What was that enemy that Odin was attacking? What is that? Is that an unknown? I think that's an unknown. It could also be a new boss, potentially. Yeah, because they're not inside the Gongaga here. Unless Odin kind of creates this environment, which it might. So the unknown enemies are enemies inside the crashed Gongaga. It's a Shinra airship kind of thing. And they are crazy powerful, but they also can be morphed into sources. So they're really good for stat grinding towards the end of the game. But they are stupid hard when you first find the ship. Okay, going up to the Golden Saucer. So we're getting, so Andrea comes back for the Golden Saucer, it seems. Potentially. We got all these mini games here. I think that's Chocobo racing. You got the fighting mini game, the bike mini game. Now here's what I was thinking of earlier. So yeah, here's Kairi. I think that's her name. So this is when Zack and Cloud first get to Midgar. I don't know why he walks up to her for. Does Zack know Kairi? No, just as the first person he sees that doesn't look like a side character, I guess. What the hell was that car that friggin' Rufus was in? What the hell? What is... Rufus got this crazy sports car. Yeah, this is the parade ceremony. Who's that? Wait, who was that? That's somebody new. There he is in the background there. Who is this? This is a new character, I think. I don't recall anybody like this. Definitely not in the original game at this point in the game. See if it looks like anybody that I can think of. No, I don't think so. I wonder if they're bringing in Before Crisis stuff to this. So Before Crisis, that's a mobile game that was on like it's like on a Nokia's or something like that. I don't know. It's a stupid old game. It revolved around events before Crisis Core. And one of the main plot lines of that game was Avalanche's attempt to assassinate President Shinra. So I wonder if this is somehow related to that, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense because Rufus was the one that funded their operation to do that. So he was trying to kill his own father. So this is something new potentially, or at least something that's coming from deep in the lore. Definitely don't know who that is. Now this is the scene I was talking about here. So if you look at where we're at here, let's see. Let's go back a little bit more. I don't think that. I don't think that we're in like the live stream, like when Tifa goes in with Cloud during the Mideel stuff. But then I don't know when this would happen within the context of the story, because they're obviously in the live stream here. Or at least Tifa is. And then we have one of the weapons. This might be Jade weapon. Now the first time you see the weapons is in the Northern Crater, but they're all encased in crystal. They're not out and around and about. And here he is. There he is, Vincent. Which also means, though, that Cid's going to be here at some point. We still have to have the Cid reveal. Oh, we didn't have the face reveal. We just had the voice reveal there. I just realized they blue-balled us on that. Let's see if we can see what we can see here. So, and we had the... So, you know, got the long hair, cloak. Looks kind of... From the back cam, looks like we did in Dirge of Cerberus. So, Shinra Mansion. Basement stuff. Oh, we got a little bit of the face there, but you can't really tell too much because it's really pixelated. He has a face, though. We know he has a face. Is there any chance that that's Matt Mercer's voice? Is there any chance? I don't know. It sounds very familiar. You know what? Actually, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Wolfgang's voice actor from, Growlancer 2. It has that same breathy quality to it. I don't know. The voice sounds very familiar, though. Oh, so they're going to have like a recap of what happened, it seems, potentially. Because they're showing scenes from the first game here. This freaking trailer, man. February 29th. I missed that. Okay. I wonder if they put it on the 29th because it's a leap year. And just because they could, you know? February 29th doesn't happen very often, right? It happens once every 4 years. So I wonder if they intentionally put it on February 29th to make that be something that stands out. The fact that it released on the 29th of February. I wouldn't put it past them. That's a marketing thing right there. That's a huge power marketing move right there. Damn, February 29th, though. Still a little ways away. It's earlier than I thought it would be. I thought maybe it would be sometime mid-March was going to be my new estimation. Like, I thought maybe early January was going to be too soon. But literally, you know, essentially March 1st. What it boils down to. Cool. You know what else this means, though? It means that they're... What are they going to... Are they going to show anything at TGS for this? Are they going to have another trailer for TGS? Are we going to have a Sid reveal in TGS? They're going to do some kind of gameplay demonstration? Because last, for a remake for TGS, they showed off summons. Or at least they showed off Aerith. And the Apps boss fight. Abzu boss fight. At TGS 2019. So I wonder if they're going to do that here or not for this one. Damn. Have a release date though. Oh, we can pre-order now. Collector's edition. The twin pack. Let's get to the original. Get to integrate. Okay, that's the cover art there. Holy hell, they got Zack on the cover art. This cover art is reinforcing my idea that somehow these two got to work together to take out Sephiroth for once and for all. Because it's like really highlighting. You got Cloud and Zack, then you got Sephiroth in the back and the middle. You know, two sides of the same person, at least for half of the game, against Sephiroth. They're on the foreground, they're together. Sephiroth's in the middle and the back, being put against them. Granted, they're facing away from him because, you know, it's cover art. You're not going to have them facing towards him. That says a lot about the intentions there. So, oh, that's interesting. Not available in other formats till... Wow, so not a year exclusivity, potentially. Only until June, potentially. For Final Fantasy VII Remake, they had a year exclusivity. This one is like 4 or 5 months. Not even, actually. 2 or 3 months. Which means maybe SE has learned that they need to release on everything. Let's go back a second and look at the pre-order stuff here. So for the Collector's Edition, you get Rebirth with as a reversible cover. You get an art book. You get OST, at least the general OST, steelbook, and a Sephiroth statue. And then we also have some usual, just kind of, you know, random digital content crap. Hey, we got a magic pot. So they don't have like an ultra premium edition, it seems. Interesting. Okay. So, there's that. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch through this, and we're gonna watch through it once more, and we're gonna see what the audio in the background is, what they're saying in the background of the trailer, and like pick that apart too. Actually, this is not capturing audio now. Okay, that actually works out. So I checked the footage recorder, but that's fine. So we weren't looking at the audio. It was like we're looking at the footage of the trailer. So now I got the audio working for this, so we'll hear the background stuff, and we're listening for music and also what they're saying.
The world's ending. At least, that's what everyone's saying.
That's Elmira, I think.
This sky, I
Aerith.
don't like it.
Ready to fire, sir.
That battle
Welcome
theme.
to the New World Order. Fire!
Just close your eyes and listen. Tell me you can't hear that. Her rallying cry.
Planet runs out of energy.
Yeah.
It and
Barret talking
everything
about
on
the
it
planet doing stuff.
dies.
We can overcome our fate.
Am I the same as these monsters? Am I even human?
Okay, we're looking for Sephiroth. Think you can find him?
Oh, Sephiroth. You see,
Yeah, we covered all this. I don't think we missed
so
too much.
you heeded the call too, did you?
What are you talking about?
As you can see, your brothers down there are having a little get-together.
That's Hojo.
They're our best chance of finding Sephiroth.
Yeah, I asked
He was talking about the reunion theory he has.
because I suspect there's soldiers suffering from cellular degradation.
Do not be deceived. You know the truth. Trust in me.
Sephiroth!
Cloud. Yeah, that's Bottomswell.
Come on!
On me.
Yeah, this is a new battle track. Oh, it's a remix of the main theme. Oh shit. Is it a battle version of the main theme? That's nuts.
Look! Look!
Oh, that's Dio, isn't it? I was trying to figure who that was. That's Dio.
Excuse me. Could you look after my friend? Just for a bit.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
A weapon?
Tutelary creatures, set only to appear when the planet is in grave danger.
I think that was Rufus.
Dares disturb my slumber.
That's gotta be
It's
Member.
upon us. The reunion.
That just
When
sounds like
worlds
Member.
merge. I'm waiting, Cloud.
If it's not Matt Mercer, it's somebody that sounds really like him. Okay, so yeah, we pretty much covered all the thought there was some extra audio in there that we missed. But no, we got everything pretty much. So yeah, that's the breakdown. This is more of like a story trailer than like a gameplay reveal trailer. Like the last trailer was very gameplay mechanic heavy. As obviously it's designed to show you different mechanics of the game. This one's more about introducing areas, concepts, characters, and bits of story. In this one. I do think this is going to be the TGS trailer, though. I don't think we're going to do a trailer for TGS. We might have there may be a playable demo at TGS. I don't know if they're going to have like a release demo, though. If there's going to be a released demo for the game, which I think there will be, it's probably going to be closer to release. Maybe like late January, late January, early February, maybe a couple weeks before the game release. When was the demo for the original for Remake? I think it came out. Was it 2 weeks before? I think it was 2 weeks before Remake released was the demo, so I'd assume a similar thing here with this. But yeah, so comments, questions, leave them below, and I will catch you guys later for another video. Till then, this is LMP Games, and I'll see you guys later.